When searching how a praying mantis jumps, I came across angular momentum, but later I figured my body wouldn't be rotating as it motioned through the air the way the praying mantis does, so I went ahead and scratched that out. And I did go ahead and use potential energy and kinetic energy, which I also went to go ask Dr. Flores if this was correct, and he suggested that it was. So I did go ahead and plug in all my values, like the mass of my hopper, gravity of course, and the height that I found by using the velocity times the angle that my hopper was angled in. So velocity was distance over time. I used the distance that I traveled over the time that I expected it to travel. And I did go ahead and get this value. So I go ahead and plug those in all into potential energy equation. And then I transfer it to the kinetic, which is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. I use the same values, just plug them in. He also mentioned that it had to do with horizontal projectile motion, so I did go ahead and use those values and plugged them in, which is velocity times the time that I expected it to react in. So I get 0.3048 times 1 second, and I do go ahead and get that number. Then I go ahead and proceed to do the actual of what actually happened. So again, I plug in all the numbers. I changed my height and my velocity because obviously the time that it took was a lot longer, 1.6 seconds. So those values do change both equations of what actually happened to my hopper. And the projectile motion also changes. And then I did go ahead and include the extension of the spring force. I just used Hooke's law and plugged in the numbers, and it gave me this value.